how long have you been teaching and how long in this age range?
Okay, so I came here to US in 2001 and I started teaching pre-K combo classes, like mixed age, like 3 years and 4 year olds in the same classroom, and at Brightwood. So I have been teaching at Brightwood for 14 years.
Wow.
And I always taught pre-K. So now I'm teaching only pre-K 4. So earlier I did combo sometimes, I did pre-K 3 sometimes, and now like a couple of few years I've been doing pre-K 4.
Yeah. And I know you've had lots of Wolf Trap experiences.
Yes.
Who are some of the people you've worked with?
I had Jean, I had Terry and Greg, I had Sue Trainer. There's so many. Oh my goodness.
I know. Sometimes it's helpful because I think, oh, I know what they do, and I can kind of make those connections or make sure, oh, you've already done this. I'll do something new.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah.
Do you know? Can you name some of the things that you still use from those?
I use a lot of transition activities and a lot of songs. There are a lot.
I saw that today.
Yes.
You know, and it's just so clear what's happening.
Yes, jump all day long. That is from Wolf Trap. And even take out your pointy finger, make a circle. That's from Wolf Trap. So a lot of classroom management strategies also from Wolf Trap. There are so many which I use. I know you just saw like maybe two or three.
I saw a lot in that short time though.
Yeah, so right there I have a bag of all those strategies.
They're great. So. I saw the shape pictures, the body shapes.
Yes.
And I do an exercise with those like rubber bendy people. Like sometimes they're animals. They're just, I'll bring one in and try it. And I'll put that like animal in a shape and then they'll copy that shape. So it's like, oh, I can bring puppetry into that, a new way to do that as well. I also noticed, I just get off topic, but all the pictures for the visuals. Yeah. You use a lot of visuals.
So this is actually Tools of the Mind curriculum which we are using.
Right.
And so the freeze activity which you saw showing us the cards, that is part of Tools freeze dance. So basically it's like for them to regulate themselves.
Right.
So as soon as the music stops, they have to stop and freeze and kind of show the pose whatever they see. So it's more on self-regulation. The whole Tools curriculum is based on Vygotsky's theory and based on self-regulation. And so even the visuals going from left to right, and there are a few other things which I will put up as we start our week because this is only second week. So few things out and then a lot of tools. So we're gonna build that.
I do a lot of special needs classes as well, and I use a lot of visuals for those classes. Would it be helpful for you if I also used visuals?
Yes, please, because demographics of my class is interesting because I have 20 students and 90% of them are Hispanic. So all of them ELL. And I have two students with special needs.
Oh, great.
So definitely visuals are going to be a plus.
Yes.
Right now I have 3 students who never had a school experience. This is their first time coming to school. So for them to kind of follow directions and understand, it's like really challenging. So I think with visuals, it's going to be like, yes, they know what to do. So right now, I do have visuals for some of the things and I use a lot of body language.
Right.
So, but visuals will definitely be a plus. So I would like to know, like, what arts form are you going to bring?
Right. So I am a puppeteer
by
profession.
Awesome.
So I do work with Jeannie Wall and Joe Pipick. I do a couple shows with them. I do shows on my own, and I've been a puppeteer for over 20 years. I'm a singer. I sing in a swing band. And so music and puppetry are my main art forms. I use a lot of drama. I use a lot of movement. I'm not a dance teacher. I always say that because they have a different vocabulary than I have. But I know sometimes people want a lot of movement, and that's an easy thing for me to bring in movement. I just don't call it dance because it's a different vocabulary.
But I'm excited with the puppetry.
Great, and we can focus on any of those things. I use them all, but if you want to focus mostly on puppetry or mostly on music or mostly on these two, we can do any combination of those that you're...
I would love to see the combination.
Okay.
Both together. Yeah.
So So music and puppetry are my kind of main things. What do you feel your art's strengths are?
I definitely love to sing.
Great.
And dance. I know a lot of Indian dances.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Indian dance. I
Yeah.
love the rhythmic part
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
Anyway.
So, and I definitely love music.
Great.
So puppetry, I'm not, I don't have a lot of ideas. So
Okay.
this will be great. So I
Great.
can kind of, see how to, create one puppet or kind of, what fascinates me in puppetry is like how you mimic the voice.
Yeah.
And kind of how you have to match your voice with the puppet, so that's really challenging for me. So
Right.
Well,
They are very forgiving.
Okay.
3 and 4-year-olds are so
so we
forgiving.
can practice whatever.
Definitely. I worked with
Got
one teacher. I worked with one teacher who did not feel at all comfortable using her voice, so the puppet would whisper to her
Oh, okay.
and wouldn't talk to her, and then she would talk about what the puppet said, and that was
Oh.
fine. And
Okay.
I worked with another teacher who changed her voice the slightest amount,
Okay.
and the children went crazy. They were just staring at her saying, "You changed your voice!" Like they were amazed, and
Okay.
it doesn't take much for
I
them
like it.
to
It sounds very interesting, and I
fun with
cannot
it.
wait to see that.
One way, there's lots of ways to use puppetry in the classroom. So
Okay.
one focus is you and I focusing on the puppetry and working on your puppetry skills.
Okay.
And another way is working on your facilitation skills to facilitate the children using puppets. So we can
Oh.
do either, we can do both.
Okay, let's start with adults, and then
Great.
kind of,
And then we'll just see
as
where
I
it
get
goes.
comfortable, we can move on. To
Right, because there's 2 different skills there.
Wow. So that's really interesting.
One thing you were talking about earlier is that kind of developing empathy and teaching them the social emotional.
Social skills.
And I use, I call it a classroom puppet, like a puppet the teacher uses for that all the time. You have a character who makes mistakes all the time, and they really like him, and so they're going to be really comforting to him and really empathetic and teaching him the rules, and that's teaching the students like, oh, he messes up and we all still love him, like it's
Oh.
okay that
I
you can
like
have a
that.
puppet that everyone really loves and is really kind but makes mistakes, and you are there to help him, and
Oh, I love
and
it.
so you're modeling that kind of behavior.
Yeah, so you know what? I was thinking to kind of focus on the science, Smithsonian science
Mhm.
curriculum, but I think our first session could be starting like knowing to getting to know them and kind of introducing this puppet.
Mhm.
I'm just thinking, I don't know how would that be.
That is great.
And
I
then-
also, we could make it an animal, and then as we're getting to know this character, we can also be learning about, scientifically learning about
Awesome.
the bear or whatever this character is going to be.
Okay.
I'm doing a wolf trap workshop this fall, and one of the goals of that workshop is to create a classroom character that is like an outdoor ambassador. So
Wow.
it becomes this character that talks about what's happening outside and the
Exploring
changes that
outside.
it sees, or talking about its habitat or what it sees the other animals doing, or so you can use that character in so many ways.
Wow, I'm
But-
just thinking about it. I'm getting excited. So I got this science Smithsonian program.
Yeah.
I used that last year again, but I would really love to see how we could incorporate all these themes which I have. I have 4 themes like water, light and shadow, nature, and structure. These are my 4 units.
Oh, great.
And we start with water. The first theme is water. So I would really be interested to see how we kind of use puppetry to teach those science concepts.
Right. So what?
We did that last year with music.
Great.
But kind of incorporating music and puppetry together. This would really be interesting. And as you just mentioned, like some puppet, like classroom puppet for outdoor exploration.
Well, maybe it's a character that lives in the water, or like an eagle, or a character that needs the water that lives
Oh.
near the water, or a fish, or
Yeah. Yes.
something that connects in that way. Do you do sink and float and those kinds of
Yes,
things?
sink and float, and the first week would be like, how do we use water? When do we use water? So talking about rain and puddles and all that.
Do you do the water cycle?
We did not do last year, but we did little bit, talking about where does the water go, what happened to the water, does it evaporate, so we did talk a little bit about that. So maybe we can start with that and kind of move from there to the water cycle. That would be a good
right.
way to...
We can kind of play it by ear. One of the things I tell teachers in this planning meeting, especially this first one, is we can make lots of plans, but we can throw them all out the window as we're going along. If we'd like, oh, let's do this more of this, and none of this is set in stone. I'm writing on pen, but it's not set in stone.
So next time when you come, I'm going to really share those standards for the first theme, water, because at the end we have an assessment for the students. So I'm going to kind of look at the assessment, look at the standards, and kind of tie them together.
Right.
Because last year, I know I had difficulty in doing the assessments at the end of each theme, because we got so much engrossed in doing the theme, like talking about all the concepts, that when we came at the assessment, we kind of skipped a few things which we needed to take care. So I'm going to take some time, look at the standards, and look at the assessment, kind of put them together, and then kind of see whatever focus points will be for
wonderful. And do you